Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I have two 45% alcohol rye whiskeys. One is from Tennessee, and the other is from Scotland. All right, let me check some real quick on settings. Okay, let's see how that's. All right, so this is Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye, straight rye whiskey. It's from the Jack Daniel Distillery in Kentucky. It's 70% rye, and it was introduced in 2017, but unfortunately, it's been discontinued. It's no longer listed on the website. They kept the website page, they kept the web page going for a while until late last year, and then it disappeared. It's been replaced with a different rye. Don't know why that happened, but it did. 70% rye grain, and I'm trying to see if they show the other grains, and I don't believe so. Charcoal mellowed, that's typical for them. They drip it through charcoal. Then they age it in new charred oak barrels. Has to be new charred oak to be straight rye. Now, you can uh, avoid new charred oak barrels. You can put it in used barrels, but it wouldn't be straight rye whiskey anymore. But anyway, so I got this back years ago, and this half size bottle was $5.99. So I bought two of them. So $11.98 for a full size bottle. Great deal. And then 2023, for some reason, Walmart had the regular 750 milliliter bottle for $9, normally running around $17.99. So my friend alerted me, David, thank you. And I went there. Sure enough, at my Walmart also, they had them $9. I bought a bottle, still not opened. And then maybe a week later, I checked, they had none on the shelf. So that told me something was going on. And what was going on is that they were phasing it out. So obviously, and it wasn't even a closeout tag, I don't believe, but it was the same principle. And now here's Johnnie Walker High Rye, introduced in 2021. It's 60% rye. The other grains are wheat and malted barley. It says right on the front, 40% wheat and malted barley. Don't know the percentage there of each one. The single malts come from distilleries such as Cardew, and then they list the other ones there. I think the grain whiskey's from Cameron Bridge. I believe Cameron Bridge is a big grain whiskey, grain spirits distillery. All right. Anyway, I don't know if this is selling really well. Walmart has a strange price. Most everybody is selling this for about 30. Was it $32.99, something like that? A little over $30. If you pay over 40, something is wrong. But I got it for $19.99 at Walmart, and I think that was wrong. But I'm not going to sit there and tell them, oh, you don't have it coded right. That's not the correct price. I'm not going to bother with that. But maybe they do. I don't know what kind of deal they got from Diageo, but it's incredible. I checked the other day at Walmart, and it's only 28 cents more than 2 years ago. It's $10.27 now. I'm sorry, $20.27, 2027. So I can't show you a screen share for the Jack Daniels because it doesn't exist anymore. They took it off the website. Here's the Johnnie Walker High Rye blended Scotch whiskey. Use the term straight whiskey because that doesn't really apply to Scotland. That's an American terminology. And of course, they're going to tell you how fabulous it is. And you can read that at your leisure if you're interested. We're not going to go through all of that. All right, so I say dawn busters, but you can tell it's dark outside. So here we are, almost 6 a.m. Central Time. It's still dark. The days are getting longer, though, so eventually it'll be daylight when I start this at this time. So pour a little bit It's very dark. You can see copper appearance. No coloring added. And how do I know that? Well, because it's against the rules to add color into a straight whiskey. Oh, you can add color into whiskey. That's not a problem. Caramel color, that's no problem. It just can't be called straight. It would disqualify it. You could call it blended whiskey, high rye blended whiskey, and you can get away with it, no problem at all. And you could get away with aging it for only a single year, which I have a bottle like that, but doesn't claim to be straight. Okay, Wesley Estimer, good morning. He says, morning, Jay. I look forward to the spring here in New England. If it gets so damn dry in winter, those darn allergies. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a dry couple of days, and then the snow is coming here, and then it won't be dry. It'll be humid. In Louisiana, winter's typified by damp weather. We usually have a very damp winter, and the summer tends to be drier, and then you'll have droughts and whatnot. Now the Johnnie Walker, you can see is honey colored amber, so I have to close my eyes now. I'm not doing that to be disrespectful to the viewers. It's the only way I can do the challenge. You can see that if I glance and I see the darker color or the lighter, then I'm going to know which is which. It's a taste challenge. I want it to be authentic, not, a bunch of bunk. I got a phone call Friday from a man who said he's the president of Tivoli, president or director, I don't know what name he used, but president of Tivoli Brewing in Colorado, and they make the Outlaw light beer. And he said that's making up about 80% of their sales right now. So they're really concentrating on getting that on the shelves. And he said they had a conference with all their employees at this conference hall, and they showed my video for it. He sent me a photo of them watching the video of Outlaw, and he said we were very impressed, and we were very excited, that somebody did that. He said, to pay for the Super Bowl would be impossible. Anheuser-Busch got, he said, 5 ads running, coming up. He said, so this is the only way they can advertise, so to speak, have people do reviews and people can see it. I said, that's true. And I said, mine are authentic. It's not, I'm on somebody's payroll and I'm giving an honest opinion. I said, which has irked some brewers in the past and distillers because I gave their product a B and they seemed irritated. I said, well, the product was good, but I'm not just going to get on there and say it's excellent. You can send me t-shirts and stuff and cups and whatever, and I appreciate that, but the score is going to be what I call it. And so he was very nice, and he wants to send me some swag, he said, which I guess means apparel and whatnot. So I'll look forward to that. He was very nice, very friendly. That was nice. All right. So now Johnnie Walker, Jack Daniels, time for y'all to start calling. It smells like minty rye. Now, rye has, to me, it smells like mentholated peppermint, spearmint, wintergreen. I don't know what kind of mint, but it has that, which is what really attracts a lot of people to rye. But also, on the other hand, flip side, turns a lot of people off of rye. Some people just say, oh, no, I don't like that in a whiskey. And I understand that. Personal preference is very important. And personal preference is a morally neutral thing. And I've been emphasizing that lately. Some people like sour beer, some people don't. It's not a good or bad thing. It's what you prefer. But in the beer review world, you'll notice, or whiskey, they got people that think that you have to like a certain thing or there's something defective about you, which is wildly inaccurate and somewhat crazy when you think about it. Yeah, this is a little mintier, but it smells like it doesn't have the charred oak. Oh, now I got to put that in the notes. The Johnnie Walker is aged in American oak. They're using American oak barrels or casks, as they call them. First fill and used. So probably used charred oak barrels, maybe from George Dickel, because Diageo owns George Dickel, Tennessee whiskey distillery. So that would make perfect sense. And first fill, meaning the first time they fill it. They don't say charred. There's probably just a uncharred barrel for the other part of the aging. And we don't know the age. Okay, We know it's at least 3 years old. That's the law. We know this is at least 4 years old because it's got no age statement, and that's the law. All right. So taste time. That sure does taste like the Tennessee because of the charred oak character. It almost makes it have like a caramel flavor. Of course, that's brown sugar, and there's no sugar in this, but there is sugar in a sense because of the corn, which I'm sure it probably could be up to 40%. Well, can't be 40, 70% rye, maybe 25%. It could be 70% rye, 25% corn. I'd put it at 95, and maybe 5% malted barley or wheat. I don't know. And there's no way to know at this point because the website's gone. And I don't think they ever detailed the other 30%. I don't think. Oh, now I'm going to backtrack. This one has more of a charred taste. So that one did, but this one trumps it. It goes above. So that's got to be the Tennessee. Okay, all right. People often ask me, what's your favorite type of whiskey? And I think it probably is rye. It's hard to say. I like Scotch, blended or single malt, doesn't matter. And that's a statement that would appall some people. Oh, well. Irish, Canadian, American, blended or straight. I like them all. But I guess I do prefer the rye more than the rest, although I like all the rest. You get it? Okay. Medium body, dry finish for both of these. So are they very similar? Well, they have similarities. This might be a little sweeter. What about the quality? Quality's there for both. It's hot. The better value would be the Jack Daniels, though. $17.99. I mean, and you're looking at $32.99 for the Johnnie Walker. There's no way that's gonna. Now you might say, I saw it at my store for $26.99. I can believe it. I can believe it. Like I said, I bought it for $99 at Walmart, full size bottle. I still can't believe that. I mean, I believe it. Obviously, it happened literally in reality, but you know what I'm saying? That's an expression people use. I can't believe it. It's like they're amazed by it. Okay, but that's a figurative statement, not literal. All right, so I'm going to say one more sip. Yeah, I think this is the Johnnie Walker. Which one's better? It's hard to say. They're both very nice, but they're about a tie on quality and enjoyment level, even. So that would give the advantage to Jack Daniels because it's a little cheaper. Are there still many bottles on the shelves? Definitely. So if you search around, you almost assuredly will find a bottle of the Johnnie Walker Rye. I mean, the Jack Daniels straight Tennessee Rye. Now, as time goes on, it'll be less and less available until it's all phased out off the shelves. But Total Wine's still listing it. Who knows? Jack Daniels themselves may have an enormous backstock at their warehouse, and they're just slowly feeding it out until it's gone. It may take 10 years. I get the impression it didn't really sell too well. Seemed like rye whiskey kind of had its moment where it was really big and everybody was talking about it. Then it seemed to like fade. Can't explain it. We know Brown-Forman's been facing some economic issues. They just announced last week they're going to cut their workforce. I think lay off 400 people, Brown-Forman. And they're going to shut down their facility that makes the barrels, their Brown-Forman cooperage. That's been there since 1945, shutting it down, laying off all the workers for over like 100, 200 guys, maybe some women. So that's terrible news. Brown-Forman is a family-owned company. So that's telling me there's something wrong. But they said their press release, something like the challenges faced in the liquor industry these days. So I'll say, it's a rough thing. Herbie says JD is not even a whiskey. All right, Herbie, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't really like to entertain those kind of comments because this is a serious channel. It's not like a fraternity brothers like Silly Billy and Funny Bunny channel. Okay, so I had other people tell me foolish things like that. I asked somebody, I said, what do you think about Seagram's whiskey? He says to me, that's not a true whiskey. Okay, I don't have time for people like that. That's just either he's not being serious or he's ignorant and he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Either way, it's a bad answer. To say that Seagram's VO is not a true whiskey would tell me that either you're clowning or you don't know what whiskey is, which is got to be one of those two answers. All right, so I'm going to say this is the Johnnie Walker. I probably could look at just the shade of it and tell, yeah, it's light. Johnnie Walker. So that puts me at 3 wins, 1 loss. One of them I got confused and couldn't tell them apart. Oh, well, that's the challenge of the challenges. You take that risk live on air, you could get it wrong. All right, so I'm going to close it out. Would recommend both. And I think you'll enjoy both. And boy, if you can find a deal like I did, that would be wonderful. Hope you can. All right, so I'll try to do another one tomorrow. And I do have a Canadian one coming in, the Hunter Rye, which I don't think it's going to stand a chance. It's a fine whiskey. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not going to make it against Johnnie Walker. There's no way. It'll get beat pretty well. All right, but anyway, y'all take care now. Bye-bye. Have a great week.